a few people coming in. I will put the chats to the side so we can see if anyone comes in.
Yeah, I need to. There we go. From messages so we can see.
So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to LSS. I'm your host tonight, Wendy Holland, and I'll let Kathleen introduce herself in a moment. I've been with LSS now for quite a few years, and we've also just started up back up our road to enlightenment. So we've got quite a few things on the go. So I'd just like to give a shout out to Rachel tonight and say our thoughts are with you. Bob, please get your voice back and hope you feel better soon. And Martin, yay, I'm back on the lives. Okay, so I'll pass you over to Kathleen.
Hello, I'm Kathleen. I'm LSS USA. I'm also Road to Enlightenment co-owner of Road to Enlightenment. I've been in LSS for 6 months now?
Yeah.
Probably around 6 months. And I'll pass you on to Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I am the founder of Eclipse Paranormal, based out of Indiana. We hold multiple events throughout the year, public investigations. We just have a whole lot going on. And I'm involved in Global Ghost Hunt, and I'm program director for Unified Paranormal Program. And I don't even remember what else. It's like a Monday for me. So it's my second Monday. It's my Monday Tuesday. So
yeah, it does tend to get like from one to the other, and you forget what you're actually involved in. Because I'm involved in quite a few things as well. So it's like finding the time.
It's like I have to write everything down or I'll forget it. Oh yeah, see, I forgot. I'm also the Indiana chapter rep for the North American Dogman Project.
Oh, I'm also interested in all of that as well.
I'm trying to mute this. So give me just 1 second. Hey, quit stomping. Somehow I've got a video up and it's giving me feedback.
So while we're just waiting on some technical issues, we'll just welcome the two people that have come in. If you'd like to join in,
do I mute this?
Please interact with us and join in. That's what we're here for. We're here to chat. We're here to talk about different things. If you've got something and you don't know what it is, come chat with us. Sometimes even the most seasoned investigator gets things and then they leave the field and think, as you're sitting on the way home, you're thinking, I know why they did that. So we all have moments.
Right.
So, first question, Kathleen.
I'll let you take the first question if you'd like.
So what got you started, Jen, in the paranormal?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah, sorry.
My 7-year-old decided he needed to come in here and whine about something. So, I'm sorry. What was that?
What got you started in the paranormal?
I had seen things since I was around 4. The first thing I saw was a I've been told it was a elemental looking in my mom's bedroom window at me and smiled. It looked like a little tree with limbs as arms and leaves. It was different, and people had told me it was an elemental. My grandparents' house was haunted. My aunt can verify that one. She used to sleep up there. So that's what got me started. And then it just progressed, and I read anything I could on Bermuda Triangle, Bigfoot, anything. And my junior year, I actually wrote a paper about Sasquatch for my final, my junior year in English.
Wow. I'm into Sasquatch as well.
Yeah.
I think I've actually seen one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'd like
I
to hear
don't-
more about that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we can hear you.
I have a live video that's coming back, so I got an echo and I'm trying to fix it.
I'm not very technical, sadly.
Neither am I.
I've asked my daughter to fix it a couple times, and she just decides to write me notes and run off. They're on my nerves. But
So how long have you been actually investigating?
I started with a team back in 2010, and it was the first team to get into Ohio State Reformatory.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some people in there that, well, I'll just put it this way, they were swingers.
Mm.
And like 3 of the ladies would fight over this one man, and it was just too much drama, and they were all married.
Oh, wow.
So it's too much. So I quit and started my own team. So that's how I got where I'm at now. So
It's weird how life takes us down different avenues to get into the paranormal field.
it took me a while. My one of their chapters was here, and every time they would have a meeting, I would have to work. So it never worked out for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I finally was able to go, and I started.
Yeah, we've been going out for a while now.
And it's something different every time you go.
Yeah, definitely.
My first
But
investigation was actually with Jen not long ago.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
Was
I
it?
think this makes the second week since then.
We caught an amazing piece of evidence. Well, Bob actually caught it because it was to do with we had been standing and we were away from all the drinks and everything, and the bottle of Coke was thrown to the ground with force because we tried repeatedly to do it, and it had to be done with force. The noise that we heard, it was quite scary. We all jumped. So what would you say is your favourite place that you've been, Jen?
As of right now, Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio.
Wow.
Was you able to get anything from there? Any evidence?
Mansfield?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've had a bunch of stuff happen. The first time I ever went, it felt like something was trying to take my body over. And then, like, we would go on daytime tours too. Like, if we're in the area, we'll just stop by. We have stuff happen during the day. The warden's wife died in their living quarters. A gun fell off and discharged and killed her. You can smell her perfume. She wore rosewater perfume, and we smelled that during a daytime tour. I've had growls. I've had some crazy answers. I've seen things. It's just an amazing place. It really is. That's my favorite place to investigate. They've actually came and visited me here at the house when I was watching a video about it. So they can travel electronically as well.
Right.
I think lockdown has proved that spirit, because obviously I'm a working medium, and it's proved that they can communicate from anywhere, really.
Yep, I think so too.
Because the fact that when you're doing a service, you can bring them into your home. And I don't know, it's quite personal when you're in your own home. And it's very weird getting back out into the spiritualist church. I've only in person done 3 or 4 since lockdown, and mainly it's still all on computer. And it's quite surprising how it works. So
I agree. Like last night we were talking about the investigation she went on, and I had some weird stuff happen afterwards. I couldn't quite explain it. And I think by us talking about it, something like didn't stay, but it showed up. It was the PlayStation controller was sitting firmly on top of the PlayStation. And I don't know, maybe it sat there 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and the next thing you know, you hear this bump. And it was that distinct sound, and I was like, what? And the cat just sat there looking. Like, he just looked.
yeah.
And he would not move. And I got up, and I was watching him, and he just sat there staring where the controller was. I just went over and picked it up. Xander's buddy he was playing with online said he heard somebody say his sister's name, and he didn't say it. And he kept saying, I hear somebody say your sister's name. He's like, I'm not saying it. So they were picking us stuff up last night. It was weird after we talked about the art center, all that stuff happened.
Yeah. I wasn't able to catch a lot of proof other than what, like, feelings and sounds I've seen. But was you able to get anything from the art center?
I haven't been able to listen to everything yet. Between work and my child not listening and showing herself over the weekend, I haven't got to do anything. But what I did get to listen to last week, I heard growls, And
Mm-hmm.
like right beside of me when I was doing the SBs, I heard growls on the recorder. And this is on the live for Global Ghost Hunt is where I was listening to it at.
Mm-hmm.
And when Mike was in the basement and he was in that corner, it says he says, "Can you say my name?" And I heard Mike and other people heard here, and another person heard "we are here."
That is so cool.
It, that place was crazy.
Yeah.
It
We
was,
were somewhere yesterday, no, Sunday, sorry, and someone who was watching the live thought they heard a growl as well. So
wow.
it's good that we can go live and people get to encounter it just as we are. So
Yep.
it's maybe not quite as put together as the live, like the TV channels.
Yeah, I know
Right.
people see the ghost shows and they're like, "Oh, it's so exciting." And I'm like, "No, you may sit there for 8 hours and not get anything."
Right.
And you may get covered in midget bites.
Right. Well,
You
I
don't
you
even
know,
get
they've
like,
got weeks to set up and rehearse and prepare for all this. So, whereas we go out and you're just getting that evening and there may not be anything.
well, a
I
lot of the locations film for a week. So everything
Yeah.
they see on TV is over a whole week.
Right.
yeah,
And my friend used to he was a volunteer at Waverly for 10 years. And he still laughs about ghost adventures. The first time they ever went there, they were so scared they would not go back in and get their cameras.
Oh wow.
That he had to go get their cameras for them. And now
that,
all
Looks
he
like
does is
sounds like a
they
place I need to go to.
do what?
That sounds like a place I need to go to then.
I've been there twice, and the first time it was we had one thing happen, and then the last time I took two of the gals that investigates with the guy that was a volunteer there. It was so active. I took my daughter on the history tour of it
Mm-hmm.
for 2 hours because she was 13 and you have to be 18 to investigate. So I took her and we were outside the operating room and and there's a hallway and she's like, "I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go down there." I'm like, "Okay, we can stand out here." And she's like, "There's something in the hallway." I was like, "Okay, we can wait." And she decides, "No, I'm going to go." So we went, nothing happened. She did the same thing to me at the morgue. She went in and she goes, "Mom, did you hear that?" I was like, "No, what'd you hear?" She said, "Somebody said, 'help me.'" I told her, I said, "I'm not surprised." We get home 2 weeks later. She tells me there was a little boy following her around and her hair kept getting touched and her legs and her arms. She could feel it.
yeah,
And I figure it was a little kid following her around. But when we went back that night, we went in the operating room, and on the other side, the hallway has a closet. And then on the other side of that wall of that closet is the sterilization room. And it
Mm-hmm.
has a heavy metal door. It takes 2 or 3 people to open it. It's about 2 inches thick. We walked in that room, and 2 women went over there, and that door slammed shut in their face.
Oh wow.
And it was the same spot that Ariana was at. She said she didn't want to go down that hallway. And I have a different theory on that. These 2 ladies went and quit talking and being loud, so I think the ghost told them to shut the F up. It's just my theory.
yeah.
Because,
It's possibly showing them that it isn't a joke.
yeah,
Take it
I
seriously.
think they were telling them to shut up. because they were so loud. And, well, you met one of them, Catherine. And super loud. You couldn't do EVPs. And they were just going and going and going. And that door just boom right in their face. I thought they were going to fall. It slammed so hard and knocked them back.
Wow. I
So.
mean, we were at Bolingbroke Castle recently, and it was way, way back. And even before we got into it, we were picking stuff up. We didn't get enough time to put our equipment down. And as we were doing it all, it kept on going off, so we'd have to go back to the one, check it, and then things would stop working. Then as it got really dark, we were all standing around. I don't know if you do the human pendulum, but we were doing the human pendulum, and all of a sudden we heard this almighty bang, and everyone in the group jumped because it came out of nowhere. And I just thought, this is what it's all about. This is about catching stuff and trying to debunk it, and when you can't debunk it. So
Right.
we're going outside to, when they all come over, and we're going to throw the bottle of juice down on the ground and see if we can recreate it. Because no one was near it, and it should have just tipped over and
Right.
fizzed, but it didn't. It was slammed. Something was not very wanting us there that night.
Jen, where is the scariest place you have ever investigated at?
The scariest?
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's scary. It's different. But it kind of was scary for them. It's no longer there. It's an old hospital. It's called St. Joe Hospital in Lorain, Ohio. It's torn down now. We were standing on the fourth, I'm not even going to say what floor it was. It was this, I don't know what it was, third, fourth floor. And there was a psych unit. And I was standing up. Katie, that was with us, that lost her shiznittle over the weekend.
Yeah.
She was standing beside me. She went and sat down. There was ladies sitting down across from us. Her mom was sitting down, and they were further towards the double doors that would go out to the elevator or to what's it called when they're going to pass away? Hospice. But we came up the back steps through like a single door. You know how stairways have the single heavy metal door. That door was standing open, and for some reason I would not sit down. And I would not turn my back to that door. And I was just standing there watching, and they were doing an EVP session and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, something walks through that door that was about 4 foot tall, started crawling along the walls. The only thing I can describe it is it looked like a rake. When we get back, I got them out of there. They're like, "What? You're calm. We don't have to go." I was like, "Nope, we gotta go. You guys get up. We gotta go." And I had no idea how to get out of that hospital. So the girls that was our guides, they actually walkied another guy. He came to get us. And he said there was a portal above where we were at on the next floor. We get over to
Mhm.
ICU, and Katie sees the same thing peeking through the tiles that's still in ICU. It was crawling on the ceiling, watching
Oh
us.
wow.
It was crazy. But
Sounds like
I don't know if that's the scariest. I think a cryptid encounter is more scary.
Yeah, I think getting chased through the woods with a Sasquatch is much more
yeah,
scary
that would
than,
be a lot more scarier.
yeah.
I think my dog man thing was more scary. The Sasquatch, when I saw that, it just crossed the road. And I was on a busy road at the bottom of a hill. And me being me, I stop in the middle of the road at the bottom of that hill, and I'm like, oh, where did it go? And I'm looking in the cornfield. And it was as tall as a no passing zone sign over here. And when it crossed, I thought, why in the hell is that guy wearing a rust-colored orange suit with a white baseball cap? And it registered when it stood in front of that sign what it was, and disappeared
Did you
into
get any
the
pictures?
cornfield.
Did
It
you get any
registered.
pictures?
No, I was on my way to work. No, I wasn't expecting that. It was just
Right.
random and crossed the road in front of me, and me stopping and going,
Oh,
is that what I think it is? And it just disappeared. It stepped like 2 feet in and it was gone.
Oh wow.
wow.
I only live about 20 minutes from Michigan, and we have dogmen that travel through here during certain times of the year. That's really interesting too.
I was just about to ask you that. I'm just going to say hello to Bob. Evening, Bob. Sorry you couldn't make it tonight. He's lovely, and hopefully you'll get to meet him soon. So about Dogman, what's that? The myth behind all?
So there's 7 different types of dogmen. Don't ask me to name them all.
Oh no.
But the most common, I think, is the one that looks like the werewolves off of Van Helsing. To me, that's the most common. That's what I saw. That's what my son saw. My friend was driving out by a lake. She used to investigate with us, and she said that she had a black wolf walk out in front of her. She has an Escalade, like a big SUV, and she said the back of that wolf was at the top of, like, level with her hood on an Escalade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was huge. So of course, we go out there bird hunting, trying to see what we can find. And our other friend, Tamala, she actually introduced Yuta and I, and she goes for walks in the woods. They live a couple miles from each other. They both live on lakes here. And Tamala goes for walks in the woods, and she sees some crazy stuff in the woods. And she'll message me about it. She'll be like, guess what I saw? And she's seen some crazy stuff out there.
Wow.
So,
I mean, I know we've got stuff over here, but not half as much as you guys do in America.
you guys actually have the black dog that's
The show.
comparable to a dog man.
Yeah, we've supposedly got one at the bottom of the village, because we're very rural,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got seemingly a gentleman who got struck by a car, and So we see all that. You can see all that from just our village. And we're in the middle of nowhere, really.
Bob says
And
that one was just seen recently.
yeah, I would love to do an investigation in the woods. But I don't know if I would have to have running shoes on because I probably would run. I won't lie. If there's even a
But you're not
I
supposed
don't
to
know.
run from that stuff.
I know, but we don't
I
see a
think
lot
I
of
would
that over
initially
here.
run too. At
You can
least
walk
behind the
quickly.
trees somewhere, so I could snap some photos or something. I'd have to.
I'd maybe like
I'd be
snap
curious.
photos as I'm running away.
Yeah,
But
they'll chase you. There's been stories of being chased
Oh goodness.
on the Appalachian Trail.
Mm-hmm.
They've chased them.
Oh,
Sasquatch has chased. Dogmen have chased, and it's cryptid researchers that it's happened to. It's on the Appalachian Trail. I don't remember. Does the Appalachian Trail run into New England? I know it wasn't in West Virginia. I do know that. It was north of there. It was. Hold on, I can tell you it was.
but yeah, definitely that's what
So
scares me.
the
right.
gentleman and his friend it happened to, he lives in Vermont. So it was north, like New York, Pennsylvania, somewhere in there it happened to.
The more
So
I hear, it seems like Pennsylvania may be where I end up in July.
are you going to the bath?
Well, not really sure. We haven't physically sat down. We was originally supposed to be going to Connecticut, but that was really a friend of mine's dream I wanted to make happen for her. But we no longer speak, so now I hope we're looking for something else to replace it. So I've been looking around this area, like outside of West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really interested in the Pinehurst, but I've recently found some other locations too that would sound pretty interesting.
Bob's asking how about a rougarou, if I've pronounced it properly.
While we're talking about Pinehurst, we talked about it earlier and last night. I am going to look and see what their
My
calendar
husband's
looks like.
taken off for 2 weeks in July, so it wouldn't really have to be a Saturday this time for me, but it would be nice if it was.
Yeah.
And you said July?
Yeah, the second week of July.
So
Paranormal investigations. Daytime tours. They have one on Friday, July 14th. But I can't get into private ones. Can't get into those.
So Bob's asking about rougarous. Are they in certain
I've
areas
never heard of
that?
A rougarou?
Mm-hmm.
They're shapeshifters too. I have a friend that actually has been followed by one in Louisiana.
Wow.
He told me him and his cousin were out hunting and something was following them.
Yeah.
And they were in the middle of a clearing and you could see footprints and it just kind of disappeared.
Oh, wow.
And he texted me one day and he said, there's this huge wolf across the road in the field. I was like, a wolf? And yeah, he said it was huge.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I know this is really going down the rabbit hole, but there's actually Facebook groups of people who think they're werewolves, and we've been contacted like multiple times by this one guy. He'll change names. Like he thinks he's sneaky and he will change his Facebook names
Mm-hmm.
and say he needs help. He's turning into a werewolf.
Oh, wow.
So I don't remember his name, but I'm not going to out him. But yeah, if he doesn't get the attention he wants, he'll change his Facebook name and start in again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, I've come across a couple groups similar to that in doing research and stuff like that. Some groups think they're vampires.
I actually ran into that the other day.
Oops.
I'm back.
What's
I hit
that?
the wrong button. I got to get up and move.
The vampire site?
Yeah, I saw some of those on Facebook the other day, and I was actually in one and didn't know it. Like somebody invited me. I didn't know they could you could join them and not know you're in them.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Well, on my old account, we were actually looking to interview one. So I joined quite a few to do research and hopefully would contact a few people. But I had them trying to tell me they could turn me into a vampire and things like that. I don't think that's possible. But they sure wanted the money for herbs to do it. I don't know what to think. I'm not going to say they don't exist. I'm just saying I haven't come across a true vampire at this moment.
Hi, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
I heard some people, what was it? Look at Paranormal Roundtable and listen to some of those episodes.
Mm-hmm.
He's ran into some crazy stuff when he was a bouncer in Austin, and he's ran into a vampire.
See, now that would be interesting.
I think that would be interesting, but for me, the fear would be the woods.
Yeah.
Getting followed by a rougarou or something similar.
And
or
he ran
infamous Skinwalker.
Yeah, anything like that in the woods or snakes. That would just finish me off, I think.
Well, I don't know what
here
was
you
that.
have to worry about wildcats and bears.
My cat. I know, Hardy. My cat that just had kittens decided she needed to come downstairs and give me some love.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
But we went to Thornhaven Manor, and there was something in the woods, and all the equipment, my friend Barb and another lady that was with us, they went out there and all their equipment shut down when they walked near it, and they got sick and threw up. And then Barb says, Well, if you want to come up here, she goes, you can come up onto the porch. I said, you know what? If that thing comes up here, I'm going to put you outside and let it eat you. And I'm going to stand here and watch. But yeah, I don't know what it was. And another one of the girls said it was peeking around the corner. And she saw glowing eyes. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I've seen glowing eyes before.
Have you?
Yeah. But it was more to do with like the demon side of things.
Uh-huh.
I was in a derelict house and we'd gone through all the rooms. Although it was derelict, it still had doors and there was nothing there. And again, we heard some loud bangs from upstairs, so we all ran. Well, I was last one out and I shut the door. And as I was going away from the property, I looked down and in the window, you could see the outline of something with red eyes.
Oh,
wow. That would be scary a little bit.
And the people that were with me ran away. They were absolutely terrified.
Wow. I'm not sure what to think about the red eyes.
I can't wait till you come to the U.S. to investigate my old house I lived in.
I can't wait to do that house, to be honest.
I just want to see if you can run, to be honest. I did.
Oh, I don't run. I don't run from that kind of situation. I run from things in the woods.
Yeah. I think I would
You
too.
run from Sasquatch.
I only ran for a second because it caught me off guard, but then my curiosity made me go back.
We've still got to kind of debunk the bottle. So it'll be interesting to see if we can do that.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My little one had to use the bathroom.
That's cool.
Yeah. Every time I get on the phone or do a podcast or talk to somebody virtually, Mom, I pooped. Can you come wipe my butt? So, yeah. I didn't think you guys wanted to see all that.
How old's your young one?
It's been a long time since I've had to do any of that.
He'll be 8 in September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old running around, so I have to lock myself in my room to be able to do these.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, he was a holy terror years ago. So he still can be.
Memory.
I have been recording, but it's not great.
I can't see the comments. I have to get it closer.
Yeah. Bob is saying, I have the recording, but it's not a great recording, but you cannot mistake the drop sound. So even though the bottle was on level ground and it was soft ground because it had been raining, when it went like that, you would normally hear that normal sound, but this sounded like someone had taken the bottle and gone bang. And I mean, it caught us all off guard because the place was really quiet. So when you hear a big loud bang from nowhere, you are going to be taken aback. And like Martin said, it was a great invest that night.
Right.
So, what's your most favorite piece of I don't know, picture, EVP? Have you got something that's your favorite?
Yeah, I'll go back again. It's from Ohio State Reformatory. I actually have it. Every job I have, I take my picture with me and hang it. It's in solitary, and it looks
Mhm.
like an old, how older people walk hunched over.
Yeah.
It looks like in the corner of solitary confinement, an older guy is hunched over in a corner, and you can see it, and there's nobody else in there. And I
That
was just testing out a camera. I didn't see it when I took the picture. I was just testing a new camera out, and it's right there in that. That's my favorite.
that is amazing. Well,
And I'll have to find it and share it.
we had cat balls, and I'm not sure what else, but we were about 11, 12 feet away from this tree trunk, and we asked it to turn the cat balls on, to put the light
Mhm.
on, and it did it.
That's
Um,
always cool.
and we caught it on camera, so it was like, wow. So that's quite a good one that we've got. But I've not checked the sound yet to see if there's anything that I caught on the sound.
See, I tried the cat balls when we were at the art center. When I placed them at the top of the step where this guy kept pointing to, um, it flickered and then it just died. Nothing else. I mean, it was brand new.
So it just drained.
It just totally drained. Like, would not work after that.
I
I
believe
had
it.
2 of them do it.
See, you weren't in my group. You were with Becky.
Yeah, I was with Becky.
Yeah. That was an interesting place for sure.
I can't wait to go back. I have a lot of. I definitely want to go back and investigate that place. I have some things I want to figure out, like the things I seen in the basement that go by when I thought it was that dog, and then turned out he had the dog in his hands.
Now I
Um,
need to see that.
yeah, and it was like it's when the guide was there with us,
Hmm.
and we were like all around in a circle listening to her in the basement.
Yeah.
And then I'm surprised the people that was like on this side and this side didn't see it, but I guess they weren't looking. But where I was at this angle facing the guide,
Hmm.
I seen something run, and I assumed it was the dog. All it was a shadow, but I thought it was the dog, and then I asked where the dog was immediately, and the dog was in his arms, so it couldn't have been that. I don't know what it was.
I don't either. I know when we were down there filming live, Becky
Yes,
got
and it was in
really.
the same place where
Yep.
that EVP. It was right there where I seen that.
Yep. And Becky got really angry down there. And that's unusual for her to do that. And she got really angry and had to leave. That place
That
was crazy.
that's quite
Oh, I
horrible.
do remember that. I do remember that. Something was playing with the back of my hair, but it didn't
Yep.
pull or pinch or bite or do anything. I didn't feel anything negative coming from whatever was doing that. But
They
there was
said that
nobody by me.
the kids would hide behind you. And I guess some little girl was hiding behind me. And I got really cold, and I could see it being a kid because it was like from my waist down.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they hide behind people from that aggressive man.
So do
So,
you do spirit rescue, Jen?
huh?
Do you do spirit rescue?
Rescue?
Yeah. If go to people's houses.
I haven't for a long time. I'll tell you the story. It kind of made me quit doing private investigations. We
Mm-hmm.
had this guy, and he kept saying, "This is going to end up a funny story. I will tell you this." He called us, and he was like, "Oh, my floor shakes, and I see dark shadows walking past my apartment all the time, and I hear people talking to me." So we went there, and we did an investigation. He said he saw red eyes in his bedroom, and it turned out it was his alarm clock reflecting in red. The funny part to this story is he said he could hear things through the walls. So we're in the laundry room seeing if anything's in there trying to get a reaction, and he's in the bathroom and we can clearly hear him going to pee. So
Ugh,
you can you can hear things through the walls easily.
right.
He lived next to a highway, and semis would go by, his floor would shake. And it was his apartment, a walkway that goes to the next apartment, and then a street lamp. So he would see black shadows outside his apartment because people would walk between his apartment and the lamp. And then he called us, like, we finished, told him we didn't find anything, we explained what it was. He kept calling and sending. We wouldn't answer the phone because he would call late at night. And he would send us clips of a woman screaming in a movie and telling us that was in his apartment.
Oh, wow.
That is
So,
scary.
so that kind of finished me on private investigations.
I
And
must admit, I've had something similar at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting a phone call
yep,
asking me to go there and then to help, and me trying to say to them that I can't go because you've woken me up out of my bed,
yeah,
and I don't like leaving my children, even though they're growing. I don't like leaving them at night.
I get
Right.
that. And my friend Barb had similar things. People would call her at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and they would tell her, "Oh, we have this going on. Can you come investigate?" And I understand things happen to you and you need help, but you also have to respect the people you're calling too.
Yeah,
Shoot us an email. Don't call. Call like at a normal hour. You know.
yeah, definitely, because people, I think, especially since lockdown, I think people are realizing that there's a lot more to life and there's a lot more goes on in their houses because they've had to spend a long time in them. So that we get a lot of phone calls asking to go out and investigate, but they don't want to hear that it's not spirit, that you can debunk it through like rusty pipes and things like that, and all the banging and things can be And when you try to explain that to them, they can get quite irate.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets to the stage. I personally won't go out and do any house clearances by myself.
It's not safe.
Yeah, see, that's me. I wouldn't go out by myself either.
I wouldn't.
No.
Mm-mm.
There's a team here local to me, and they went to a private investigation. And what we tend to do, and people I know tend to do, is you gather your evidence up and present it to the person all
Yeah.
at once. And they would send this woman, they had her scared to death. They would say, "Oh, I hear this." They would send her one. Then they would send her another one a little while later. So a friend of mine ended up going over there to cleanse the house. And this guy that caused all this turmoil and his team refused to go help. And my friend gets there and the lady's laughing because she said this team is never allowed in her house again. They're unprofessional. They scared her. And she said they actually told me that this was a music box playing in the background, and it was her sheep banging. They in the background. They said it was a music box and it was her sheep.
Mm,
So
Mm.
that's sad when people do that.
and
It is.
she got a chuckle out of it. The lady did, the homeowner did. She thought it was funny. And she couldn't understand how they got a music box out of her sheep.
Yeah. We're just about running out of time. So if you'd like to tell anybody where they can come and look at your page or anything.
We have a website. It's eclipseparanormal.com. We're on Facebook, same name. I hold a all men's event. It's Men of the Paranormal, and also the International Women of the Paranormal Con. That actually has been rescheduled to next year. I know Kathleen wants to kick my butt for it, but
No, not kick your butt. A little disappointed because I was really looking forward to it, but I wouldn't want to kick your butt over it. Things happen.
yeah, we weren't selling enough tickets for it to be feasible to go. But next year, oh, I guess Harley wants to say hi. But she just decided to stretch from my desk up to the window and just fell. But next year it will be at Brushy Mountain Penitentiary in Tennessee and Old Harriman Hospital. So those are pretty awesome spots.
They sound brilliant. I mean, I'm so envious that you guys have all these great places to go. And I think I'd just be like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, when you come here, it's going to be really hard, Wendy, to decide where to go because there is so many places.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, we're lucky in the respect that we've got castles and we've got all these ancient buildings and the Romans and everything like that. But I think when you've investigated that, you want to do something else, something different. I mean, I've been to the Queen Mary in Los Angeles, and I've been to what we call Transylvania, Dracula's castle. I've been
I was
there.
supposed to went to Romania last year.
It is fab. It really is.
Next year.
I'd like to go to the forest there because I've not been there yet.
Yeah.
I was only at the castle.
I can give you the information when she publishes it. it will be probably a 10 to 14 day trip. I was actually supposed to went with Becky, and I had a bunch of stuff happen, and my daughter ended up in the hospital, so I'm glad I didn't go. But we were supposed to went there, and we would have went to the castle, and we would have went to the forest, and Becky was getting COVID at the time and was sick, and she didn't know what she was sick from. So she may actually go back with us. So I don't know the dates yet, but when I find out, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
That's
keep us
cool.
posted.
But yeah, she does the forest. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Some orphanage you go check out. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
We went, and it was a long, long time ago, and it was very much still in the East where everybody just did as they were told. So, it's been really interesting talking to you tonight, Jen.
Well, thanks for having me on.
And Kathleen, I'm so envious of all these places that you are going to get to do. So thank you everyone for watching. It's been a great night, and we've discussed a lot of topics tonight, not just the normal ghost hunting type thing.
Right.
And we shall say bye, guys, till next week.
Well, thanks for
Good
having me
night.
on.
And see you all next week.